There we go. What? What is this?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is James Brino, and this is the conference room with James Brino. Today is 7/14/14. I'm very sorry about the delay tonight. We were having some technical difficulties, but tonight we have a fun-filled show for all of you. And we have three very special guests. One coming on later, and so the three special guests we have tonight: Stephen Petrillo, Eddie McCabbage, and Adam Brush. So Adam will not be with us until later tonight, but we will be. I will be introducing others. So tonight we have Eddie McCabbage. He is a student at Southington High School, interested in education, especially English, the English education. And he is also part of the marching band. Eddie, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Oh yeah, and then we also have Stephen Petrillo. He's a recent graduate of Southington High School and will be attending WPI Worcester Polytechnic Institute of Technology in the fall, studying aerospace engineering. Stephen, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Yeah.
All right, so we'll be discussing a lot of different things. So we'll wait until Adam gets on, but we'll first be talking about literature. And I know this is a very sore subject for a lot of you because you guys do read all the books in school. But we're going to be talking to Eddie because he actually wants to major in English education and become an English teacher. So Eddie, why do you really want to be an English teacher?
Well, what I really want to accomplish is I want to go to UConn. I want to get my teaching degree and then go back to a school and start a drama club. So I think literature is a very important part of doing a show or any production because it's a really large foundation of what everything is and how all the pieces fit together.
All right, thank you very much. And I'm actually just got word that our microphone was not working during that entire introduction. So we're going to restart this over again. And I'm going to just start the background. So we're going to
don't play that musical track again. That was horrifying.
Well, no, it's okay because we'll be able to hear it now. So
Wait, we have to restart because Adam can't hear anything. Or he can't join.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is James Brino, and this is the conference room with James Brino. Tonight, we have a fun-filled show for all of you, and sorry for the technical difficulties. We've had so many tonight, starting a little bit later, and the microphones were not working, but now I believe we have everything situated. So tonight, we have three very special guests with us tonight. One will not make it until later, but we have Eddie McCabbage, Stephen Petrillo, and Adam Brush with us tonight. How you guys doing?
I'm doing well.
I'm doing great.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. So we will be so Eddie McCabbage, he's a student at Southington High School, interested in education, especially English education. He is part of the Southington High School marching band. So Eddie, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing very well, thank you, James.
And then, so Stephen Petrillo is a recent graduate of Southington High School and will be attending WPI, Worcester Polytechnic Institute of Technology, studying aerospace engineering. Stephen, how are you doing tonight?
We just did that, but I'm doing great.
All right. Well, the first question is more a rhetorical question for one of you, but you guys answered anyways. Doesn't matter. So the first topic that we will be discussing tonight is literature, and I know that's a sore subject for a lot of you.
I just had deja vu.
And that's a sore subject for a lot of you.
Wow.
But literature. Eddie will be sort of explaining his love for literature and why he really wants to be an English teacher. So Eddie, what do you really? So how would you want to go about becoming an English teacher?
So I would like to study education at UConn, and then I want to go back to a school, and I want to either start or help with the drama club. And then literature really helps set the foundation for everything in the world, pretty much. Like, you can't read without books. So, yeah.
All right, thank you. And what is something else? Or actually, what is the #1 book that you would suggest for teenagers?
Lord of the Flies by William Golding.
Oh, jeez.
Or Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger.
You can't recommend books to teenagers that they are forced to read in their sophomore and junior years.
But they are very good books. They are.
Okay.
Or the Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. That's a good book.
There we go.
All right. And another thing, another question I wanted to ask you tonight, Eddie, especially, was what is one thing that you suggest to teenagers and even different other people reading books? What should they really focus on when they're reading a book? So I know that a lot of teachers say you have to stop and focus on this one specific thing. But what do you say is the most specific thing you need to focus on?
The most specific thing is probably to go at your own pace and look for what you feel is important. I feel most importantly you should look for deeper meanings within the text, see how things relate that you never thought would relate.
All right, thank you very much, Eddie. And just one thing, why English? Why is that something that you want to focus on? How about something like math or history? Why English?
So I chose English because over the past year I've had very good role models, and my English teacher and the drama club director have been really large influences in my life. So I feel like that if they can do that, then I can be like them.
That's really awesome. Yes, Steven, did you say something?
James, stop messing with the audio. It's fine. Put it back to the way it was. It sounded fine before.
Whatever you say, Steven, whatever you say.
Back off the mic. Back off the mic.
Okay, backseat director.
Oh, yeah. There we go. Yes. So all of you just tuning in to the conference room with James Brino, we have two special guests on tonight, Stephen Petrillo and Eddie Vicavage. We are trying to get Adam Brush onto our show tonight, but it's not working out too well. We've had a lot of technical difficulties at this show. Just stay tuned, and we'll be talking about a lot of different things. So Eddie, do you have any comments that you'd like to add?
If you are reading a book, even if it is for school or like you're just like reading it for pleasure, don't stop reading it, get to the end, because if you don't, then you're not really going to understand what's truly happening and how everything relates in the text to the real world.
All right, and I just want to leave our audience with just one thing, a joke. Do you have any good jokes that you'd like to tell us? No. No good jokes?
Oh wait, I have one. What building has the most stories?
What?
A library.
There you go.
Okay.
That was so crap.
I know.
Okay, so we're going to move on to something that Steven will be talking about.
Oh, that's right.
And we will be talking about the Iran nuclear crisis. And I wouldn't call it a crisis right now. I'd call it more of of talks, because we all know that Iran is trying to get nuclear type missiles and things like that. But there's a lot of different things, a lot of different factors that go into what's going on in Iran right now. So, Steven, I know you did some research on it. What is something that you would say is the overarching idea that you tried to study?
Well, I looked. Hold on, I have to close because I opened up our stream on YouTube and it's freaking me out. Also, you put me full screen. I saw that. That's fine. But I looked at the history from 1950 to 1979, and then all the way to 2003. So mainly the the major issue is not so much Iran. Okay, so starting from the beginning, after the U.S. used nuclear warheads in Japan, people were freaking out. So the U.S. started this big movement to move from nuclear warheads to nuclear power.
Wait, we actually got Adam on right now.
We got Adam.
Hey, we do.
Hey, Adam, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, James?
Good. Adam can only hear me, just to let you know. Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
So Adam, if you actually can log into YouTube and just go to our show, you can actually try and listen to what's going on. Can you try and do that?
It's a bit delayed with this, though.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bit delayed, but don't worry.
James, once again, your audio is a little too high.
Sorry about that.
All right, so going back, so Iran itself, during this push for nuclear power, succeeded with grants from the U.S. But then in late 90s, the multinational coalition to keep nuclear power under control found that Iran was not being honest with what they were doing with all the uranium that they had, that they were enriching it to the point where it's beyond use. Well, they didn't prove it, but they refused to show that all the uranium was being solely used for power and not for weapons, which then led to tensions that have carried over until now. So, in terms of current issues, what would you like me to discuss?
So we've heard lately that there are these talks going on between all the prime ministers and Secretary of State John Kerry and prime ministers from Germany and Britain, and these talks are trying to have a breakthrough amid Middle East crises. So the top U.S. and Iranian diplomats searched Monday for a breakthrough in nuclear talks. Their efforts, complicated by crises across the Middle East, have teared Washington apart. So we're trying to see, is John Kerry... we all know that John Kerry was appointed by President Obama late last year. So do you think that President Obama and John Kerry are talking very closely about these Iranian Iranian nuclear, the nuclear crisis? Because I know it's not a crisis right now, but it will be very, very soon. So do you think that President Obama and John Kerry are trying to limit the amount of nuclear matter that is crossing into Iran?
I would say, well, on a global scale, like, not just Obama. They're probably almost every Western nation is trying to limit the radioactive material going in. However, are they totally justified in doing that? Because there's dwindling amounts of proof showing that it's towards weapons per se. I mean, yeah, it's shady. I'm not saying, oh, they have no, they're not making warheads. It's not true. They probably are, but so are we. And so us saying, no, you guys cannot possess radioactive nuclear equipment, uranium or plutonium or whatever, is kind of hypocritical. With past and more recent events in the Middle East, most would argue that the Middle East is more unstable than almost all Western countries. Therefore, you would have, doubts whether or not they should have access to any radioactive material. However, there's international law stating that it's their right to possess uranium and use it for power. So you can't just say, no, you can't have any of it, because it was written into law internationally rather.
Yes, exactly. Thank you for that, Stephen. So I have just one article. This is from The Guardian. I just want to read part of it that says, and the title of the article is Iran Nuclear Talks Carry in Serious Conversations in Bid to Break Impasse. I'm going to read the first paragraph. The U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry has stayed on in Vienna for a second day of talks with his Iranian counterpart in an attempt to break an impasse in international negotiations on Iran's nuclear program. Kerry entered what was U.S. described as a serious and potentially lengthy conversation with Mohammad Javad Safar, the Iranian foreign minister, in Vienna hotel late on Monday morning. The continuing talks adjourned on Sunday night. The conversation came 6 days before a deadline for completing a comprehensive deal between Iran and 6 world powers of the future size and shape of the Iranian program, and at a moment where the talks are deadlocked on a range of issues. So it said here that there are 6 world powers that are in talks with Iran to limit their program on nuclear bombs. So I want to ask you, Stephen, what could happen if Iran did have nuclear, if they did in the future have nuclear bombs? What could be the future? What could the future look like if Iran did nuclear bombs?
All right. Well, see, I like this because I do. Although I do prefer math and science, I really enjoy history, so I can bring in other perspectives on this. Some would say the same thing about the Cold War with the Russians and them having nuclear weapons. At the time, they were also considered the biggest threat to national security, and look what happened. Nothing. Not nothing.
Exactly.
It was called the Cold War, so not much happened, I guess, is the in the sense of war. Policies, we're not going to get into that, but in the sense of the threat of thermonuclear chess, almost everyone agrees that playing thermonuclear chess is the worst game in the world.
Okay.
And, if Iran were, flaunting their missiles, then, things aren't good. It's never going to escalate beyond, we have missiles, oh yeah, we do too, let's point them at each other, and then just give up.
All right, and I just have one more thing. It says under a 6-month interim agreement that went into effect in January, 6 world powers and Iran have until July 20th to conclude a final deal. The goal for the West is for a long-term agreement settling clear limits on Iranian activity and locking in place an internal monitoring regime to ensure that the Islamic Republic cannot develop nuclear weapons. The interim agreement also offers the option of an additional 6-month period for negotiations, an extension that appears increasingly likely. So do you believe that they will come to the agreement by July 20th? So they only have 6 more days to come to an agreement. Do you really think that they're going to come to an agreement in 6 days?
Knowing politicians and how great they are with deadlines, No.
No. Okay. Well, and this agreement that they would be coming to, it would add another 6 months for mortgage negotiations.
Exactly.
So
they're just going to keep adding time to the clock.
Exactly.
At the end of this time period, it's by July 20th, or else.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So
goes, but I guess.
Do you have any other comments or questions you'd like to ask?
Me?
Yeah.
No, not really. You're the one leading, so I'm just responding.
So I want you to give us one joke. Just one joke.
One joke.
Yes.
If give me 2 seconds. I'm not going to Google a joke, but I have one written down.
All right. So we're going to actually, when you're looking up the joke, we're going to move to Adam Brush. Adam, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, James. How are you?
Pretty good. So we did have a couple of technical difficulties in the beginning, but I'm pretty sure that we have it all situated, right?
Not quite.
Yeah, not quite. But other than that,
Only for you. Everyone else is 35 seconds behind.
oh, that's okay. Don't worry.
Okay.
So I know, Adam, you don't have too much extensive knowledge on the next topic we're going to talk about, but I want to just we agreed that we want to hear your opinion on the story. So we're going to be talking about something that's very near and dear to a lot of people's hearts, and that is Obamacare. So what, in your opinion, how does Obamacare look, Adam?
You know, Obamacare, it's not looking like a great system, you know. I feel that they are forcing it upon our citizens, and that it's not all necessary.
No. Okay. And so I have a couple of documents here summarizing Obamacare, but I just want to hear with you, what do you think is the number one, let's say, thing that Obamacare does for the citizens of the United States?
Gonna be honest here. I don't know what Obamacare does.
Okay, right. Well, we can work on that. Don't worry. Don't worry. Okay.
James,
Oh, yes.
if I may add that Obamacare comes with 10 essential health benefits and free preventive services for citizens who sign up. And it also regulates health insurance, but not health care, and the goal is to give all citizens affordable health care.
Yeah, but it's also mandatory, which is not fun.
Yeah. And in
So-
Not fair.
Yeah. So if you guys didn't catch that, Eddie said that he just went over some of what Obama does. Obamacare. Sorry. Obamacare does. It's officially called the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act, PPACA. Often called the Affordable. We just went over. Was signed into law on March 23rd, 2010, and upheld by the Supreme Court ruling on June 28th, 2012. During the ruling, the law was changed to allow states to opt out of expanding access to Medicaid. Learn more about Medicaid expansion on another website. Then it goes in.
Thank you.
The law requires all Americans to have health insurance by 2014 and pay a per-month fee for each month without minimum essential covered. Through this shared responsibility provision is unofficial. It is called the individual mandate, and it's not a mandate by the June 28th, 2012 Supreme Court ruling. Obamacare doesn't change the way insurance is obtained. You can still buy private insurance, get employer-based insurance, or get insurance through a government program like Medicaid or Medicare. But Obamacare does add a new way to purchase insurance, however. Insurance can be purchased through the state healthcare insurance marketplace or healthcare.gov. And healthcare.gov is something that was talked about a lot in the news. and this is just a screen share of what the healthcare.gov or Obamacare website is. I know Adam can't see it, but don't worry. And it just goes on, and it says, so I think Steven wants to tell his joke now. So, Steven, would you like to...
Yes, I do. All right, so there's a guy, and he's going to a Halloween costume party. So he goes up to the door, knocks on the door. His buddy answers the door. He opens it up, and he sees his friend with this woman on his back. And he goes, well, what are you supposed to be? And he goes, I'm a snail. And he goes, well, then what's she for? And he goes, she's Michelle. Michelle.
Yes.
Michelle. So she's Michelle.
Oh, that was funny.
Adam, did you say something?
I did not.
Oh, okay. Can you actually hear what Steve...
Wait, time out.
No.
Oh, okay.
Nick Charnish. Hi, Nick Charnish. Okay, keep going.
What happened, Steven? Okay.
Nick Charnish wanted a shout out. Hi, Nick Charnish.
Okay, so there we go. Thank you, Stephen. So this is the Obamacare website, and you just go along. It says get insured and things like that. So Adam, I want to go back to you. So
yes.
So I kind of gave you an overview of what Obamacare does. So what is your opinion on, let's say, the have you heard about the website when it first came out? It was not very user-friendly.
It was not very user-friendly. Couldn't really access anything. Didn't make much sense.
No, it didn't. And there was actually the Obama administration used a Canadian company to actually do the healthcare.gov website. And there was glitches. People could hack into your information. Because this was, when you signed up online, you gave them all of your information, your social security number, your address, and then it goes on to tell the employer where you work, where you live, cell phone numbers, and things like that. So basically it's like a health... so it had to be very, very reliable and safe. And in the beginning, it wasn't like that, and people and eventually the team of engineers from NASA and from Google actually made this website better by making it more secure and things like that. So there was a rough rollout, and a lot of the Republicans have said that the Obamacare was a terrible idea, but they did sign it into law. So what is your opinion on that?
You know, if you're going to try and enforce something such as healthcare upon the entire country, you should probably make it at least an easy thing to do. And if not, at least make it a secure thing to do.
And that was something that they didn't do. They didn't make it secure, and they actually had people design it from out of the country, which doesn't really make sense because it was a Canadian firm that did it, and we're in the great state, or in the great country, United States.
The great state of America.
The great country of America, and they didn't even have our Google engineers in California, or NASA engineers in Florida. All these amazing tech companies we had here that they could have got the stuff from, and they never even thought about it.
Yeah, but you also got to remember, it's also the great American way to outsource all production to other countries.
And yet we still find it necessary to go to the Great White North for our technology.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, Steven, we kind of didn't hear you too well, so what were you saying?
Yeah. It's also very much the American way to outsource all the labor and just to outsource jobs to other countries. However, in this case, this wasn't probably cheaper. This is probably just as expensive. I would say the only reason they probably employed Canadians, I don't know this for fact, but probably the only reason is because they're used to having government health care, so they know how to set up the website.
That is true. That is true. Because in Canada, there is centralized healthcare, and there is also centralized education for higher education, like college and things like that.
But is that also done via a website, or is that just not?
And I would have to look into that right now, and I will get back to you very soon. But I don't believe that there's a website. I believe they have offices in Canada, in almost every city that you go and you do all this stuff on. But I will look into that and try and do it. So Adam, I can go back to you. So we know the health insurance marketplace is online, but you could also call in, and we also heard many different things about the call-in centers and how bad the places are and different things like that. But right now, I actually have a video I'd like to share. I know, Adam, you can't really see it, but I will be showing a video, and this is just describing sort of what Obamacare is and things like that. So I'm going to turn the volume up on this one.
Apocalypse that could have stopped it dead in its tracks, but didn't. The marquee elements of the Affordable Care Act, sometimes called Obamacare, are about to kick in. And
We watched this in health class.
health insurance in
Oh, you did?
2014.
Okay.
In the next minutes, you'll get a pretty good lay of the land by
So,
once again watching.
this is
your
a little long, so we're not gonna watch the whole thing.
tunes find their way
but this is
through
just-
the system. There are
Showing all this
employers
all this
won't
face
face the same penalties for
and there's talking
refusing
about the
to buy
smaller
insurance.
employers and
They'll
things
be
like that.
encouraged to do so. The government will be setting up special marketplaces to make it easier
And that was just
for
like
small
the
employers to
healthcare.gov,
take
like
the
we talked
plunge.
about,
Some will
and
be offered
Connecticut has a
temporary
different
tax
website and
breaks
some
if
of
they
the
do.
different.
And unlike now, insurers
states
can't inflate prices if some employees are sick. So many of us will be getting covered at work. A lot of us will be covered with help from the government, just like today.
So if you do
But
have
will
some
change for
time,
seniors
I
and
would
medical.
encourage you to watch.
Pause the video.
Oh yeah. So in the and it's called the YouTunes. Get ready for Obamacare. Just search it up on YouTube, and you should find it. It's a 6-minute video, or actually 7-minute video, that explains Obamacare very, very easily, and it talks about Medicaid and Medicare and the changes to that. But we can talk about actually Connecticut in general, because we are in the great state of Connecticut. And
Great state.
Yes, the great state of Connecticut. And we know that our health insurance exchange is different, and it's Access Health CT is the official website for the Connecticut health insurance. And they were a little bit different because the state of Connecticut opted out of the actual health insurance marketplace from the federal government. So we had our own type website, and there were no problems with our website, only problems with the health insurance marketplace by the federal government. So what does that really say about states and federal governments? Adam, this is directed towards you, but Eddie, you can answer this one too, because I know you have something. Steven, you can answer this one too, but you've been talking a lot. So
What's the question?
the question was, Eddie, so Access Health CT website worked on the first try when it first opened, but the federal government website, the federal government gets millions upon millions and even trillions of dollars through taxes, and they can't make a website correct. But the state of Connecticut does get money, but only millions of dollars, and they made their website a lot better. So I'm going to be showing just actually the
Bless you.
Access Health CT, and the question is, Eddie, what does this say about states versus federal government, and how the federal government is not doing as much as it could be? So, Eddie, I'll let you start first.
I would not like to start first.
You don't want to start first?
No.
Adam, you can start first then. What does this say about state governments versus the federal government?
I don't think it says much about all state governments. I think it says that Connecticut's state government is maybe a little bit better than our whole federal government, but they're two completely different systems. One looks after an entire country, one looks after a state. I figure there's going to be weak points both.
Yeah, exactly. But just in the terms of the money and the revenue that we that they each get. The federal government gets a lot more, and I think they can put a lot more money into the website than the Connecticut government can. So is this neglect on the Obama administration, or is it neglect on the Health and Human Services department, or something like that?
I think this is a reflection on the Obama administration not being able to put together enough funding. Well, they have enough funding, but not using the funding correctly to make something that works.
And wouldn't it would behoove President Obama to actually try and sign up on his website before it actually started, and actually see if it works, and actually approve the website, because this is a national type organization, and this is Obama's baby. We refer to the Affordable Care Act as Obama's baby and his legacy when he leaves office. We all know that that Obamacare will be taken out of office, or will be taken out of the federal government after Obama leaves. We all know that, and all the representatives and senators know that. But this is what Obama wants to leave as his legacy, because every president has their legacy, and this is what he wants to leave.
Except for Gerald Ford. He did nothing.
Okay, whatever you say, Stephen. So this was just on President Obama's part,
That is his legacy.
or do you think that he has more important things to do? This is more towards Adam.
Don't put this pressure on me. Ask Eddie.
All right, Eddie, you're up.
Why does no one ask Stephen? Why?
Okay, so I feel as though President Obama is using his Obamacare to show he can try to change the United States. But by 2016, which is the year of Obama's last year in office, 5.7 billion people will be uninsured because Medicaid, one of the companies closely related to Obamacare, has not been expanded in 24 of the United States. That's like a lot of the United States.
That is, there are 50
That's almost half.
Yes,
Exactly.
exactly.
Oh, it's 48%. Okay, that was easy.
Okay, good job.
Thank
So
you.
48% of the United States, of the states, 24 don't include coverage of Medicaid. Did you say, Eddie? Right, Medicaid?
Yes.
Medicaid. And that is the older folks' insurance policies for things like that. Steven, do you have something to add? Steven?
Me? Oh, okay. So, basically, what you can get out of this whole scenario is that it's so much easier to do things in a smaller scale, because, we've seen that, obviously our, Connecticut health insurance is not perfect. Nothing's perfect. But if you're comparing the state of Connecticut to the entire United States is not a very accurate thing. It's not very accurate because you have to also scale the amount of people, the size of the state government. So if you compare the state government of Connecticut to all of Connecticut, it most certainly does not. If you're talking solely about healthcare, that whole general area, it most certainly does not scale with from Connecticut, entirety of the United States, over healthcare to size.
All right. Thank you very much, Adam. Thank you very much for giving your opinion on that. We always love to have opinions of people that don't really know about politics, because it really broadens our view on what actually happens in the United States. Because a lot of voters are uninformed voters, and they just vote for the person that they saw the most ads on TV for. So we should all take Adam's actual sort of kind of initiative and become informed voters, and when we do vote, vote smart and don't vote for the person who saw the most ads or gave you that free pen on during the parade. just because you got a free pen from someone doesn't mean you really need to vote for them. It doesn't. They're not always the best.
TD Bank gives me free pens. I don't vote for TD Bank.
TD Bank is not running for an office. All right. So, do you have any, Adam? Before we let you go, because I know it is becoming late. Do you have any comments, questions, concerns, death threats, anything like that for our audience?
I think I'm good.
Are you good? And I always do this. Just one joke for us.
Has anyone told the one about the talking dog?
I don't.
Alright. So this guy and his dog walk into a bar, right? And the bartender says, "You can't have any dogs in here." And he says, "No, it's okay, because my dog can talk." So he goes, "Okay, prove it." And he says, "What's on top of the house?" And the dog says, "Woof." And he says, "What's on the top of my mouth?" And the dog says, "Woof." And then he says, "Who's the best baseball player of all time?" And the dog says, "Woof." And the bartender says, "Yeah, I don't believe it. You're out." And he kicks him out. So they're walking on the street, and the dog looks at his owner and says, "I think I should have said DiMaggio."
All right, thank you very much, Adam. And I will let you go from the show tonight. Have a safe and healthy rest of the week, and we'll talk to you very, very soon. Thank you again.
All right, have a great one.
Bye.
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 All right, so we're gonna talk to you about hi, Eddie. Nice to.
Why does no one talk to me? Why am I always...
The whole thing.
What?
Did you just end it?
No, I just hung up with Adam. But we're gonna ask you about the Obamacare thing. What is your personal view on Obamacare? Eddie, what is your
Who? One sec, I have to try to fix my iPad. Hold up.
Okay, so we're going to move on to Steven. What is your personal view on Obamacare?
My personal opinion on Obamacare is that it's a mess.
It is a mess, and I believe that the rollout of Obamacare did not go correctly, and I think President Obama rushed to actually do that.
Yeah, I think never mind, just skip, never mind.
Okay, so, are you back?
I am back.
Alright, so what is your opinion, on Obamacare, your personal opinion?
So, I feel as though Obama is trying to show that he can do good, he can continue to do good things for our country, like he has done in the past, like gay rights, yo, yada, 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 but this isn't really working out well.
No, it's not. It's not working out well at all.
It's almost like a you tried moment. Like, you can do this stuff, but you tried, you know.
And the biggest thing that I see is that that Congress and the Senate actually approved and set into law Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act. And now there's been 33 attempts in the House of Representatives to actually get Obamacare impeached from law. And that just goes to show that this is a 1,000-page law that is into effect. And I just want to know the statistic of how many senators and representatives actually read the entire act before they actually signed it into office. None of them. That may be a little much.
None.
I'm going to stick with none of them. You know why?
I'm going to stick with one.
One?
Because the person who wrote it had to read it.
Yes.
Okay. So, that's cheating.
Sneaky Senate.
I'm going to stick with none because what 1,000 pages is what you said? What do you know what the exact number is?
I can look it up, but I believe it's like 1,300 or somewhere around that.
All right, so two things. One, James, you are still eating your microphone. Back off. Number two is 1,000 pages. There are books that we read in school. Those are only 300, 400 pages. And kids refuse to read Lord of the Flies. So if you ask a person to read in its entirety and understand the complexity of Lord of the Flies, To Kill a Mockingbird, and then Catcher in the Rye, let's say. That's about 1,000 pages. And understand every nuance, every you know all that English BS that you're supposed to understand. Sorry, Eddie.
It's fine.
But all the stuff that we're supposed to just understand what the author's trying to say. You couldn't find, there are several hundred people in the House and Senate, and if you were to ask several hundred high schoolers if they understood the complexities of those three novels in its entirety, almost no one could do it. So to ask full-grown adults to understand and read entirely and understand the complexity of a massive national law, they couldn't do it.
So I have the exact number,
Number.
of pages. So there are over 20,000 pages of regulations associated with the new law, Obamacare.
20,000.
Yes, but there are only 828 pages in the actual law that was approved by the House. And
So they cut out a large portion. Okay.
but there are 20,000 pages of regulations
Okay.
associated with it.
So to say that they read through 20,000 pages initially and then cut out a large amount, but only fully understood the complexities of 800. You know what I'm kind of trying to say? Like they really kind of focused on those 800. It's still not. So I retract my statement that none of them read it, but I will say none of them fully understood what the Affordable Health Care Act was capable of and what an undertaking it would be.
Oh yes, exactly. So oh yeah, Eddie, are you back? Would you like to say something?
No, I was just agreeing. I'm okay.
Okay, so I just I want to show you the actual law that I have in a screen share here. So this is a PDF file you can find on the actual online at housedocuments.house.gov, and it says as amended through May 1st, 2010. This is not the brand new one. This is just part of it, and you can tell that there are very small writing and pages like that. So this is just the index. That
Wait,
you're,
do me a favor. Go back to that.
where would you like me to go back to?
Okay, so go to the thing, hit Control F,
All right.
and then search just, I don't know, what word do you think you should search for?
The.
The? Ready? How many words of the?
So it's only you can see the yellow is how it's searching. So
Yes, I know. Every time you see a yellow, that's where the word the is.
we are at about 4,000. It's not even halfway down the page.
So this is counting just the word the. And it's almost the most common word we use in the English language.
Yes.
Yeah.
We are
So
6,000 right now. 6,300.
this doesn't really prove much, but it's just to give, because I can't. How many pages are on this document?
there are, I'm not sure if I can see right now. I'm not sure I can see right now. Once it's
Just hit print, and then it'll tell you.
yes, and the entire Obamacare document. I would need many reels of paper for that one. But I think because it's so much, it needs to load the preview. 974 pages of paper.
Not okay. So 900. Okay, so that's 1,000. That's 1,000 pages.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
How? And okay, so it takes. How quickly does a person read? Person reads at
60 words a minute, maybe.
60 words a minute. Okay, so a word a second.
Yeah.
So just to read, go back to read, not even half of the thes in this document. That's about 11,000.
Yes,
Right?
11,000.
So 11,000 divided by 60.
A lot.
So far, it would take you 3 hours just to read the thes.
Yes, exactly.
Through. So, to say someone sat down and read this
Is preposterous.
is preposterous.
That's
Yes,
crazy.
exactly. So we are coming to the end of our show tonight. I just have a couple things to just fly through today in history and things like that. But do you guys have any other comments, questions, concerns, or jokes that you'd like to share with our audience tonight?
No. I'm okay.
No.
I had fun.
Yes, thank you very much, Eddie, for coming on. Maybe we can get you on at another show. You too, Stephen, because
I would love to.
we really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you. I dropped.
All right. Thank you guys very much. And I am going to just keep this Obamacare search for going. We're not even halfway there, and we are at 13,843 thes. And halfway there, so maybe we can hit 20, maybe even 30,000. So I will get back to you on that number. But you guys have a safe and healthy rest of the week, and I will talk to you guys very, very soon. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
James?
Yes.
Oh. Are we still... Yes, we are still live.
All right. Well, I will eject you. See you later. Bye, Stephen. Thank you for coming on. All right. So thank you guys very much for listening to that wonderful show that we had tonight. I just have a couple more things to talk about, and that is today in history. As I am keeping this scroll through, we are almost below the halfway point, and it is at 15,890. So we're going to go to today in history. Today is June 14th. Almost June 15th, but we're going to talk about June 14th today in history. Let me just reload this page. So in 1223 in France, Louis VII succeeded his father Philip Augustus. In 1536, France and Portugal signed the Treaty of Lyons, aligning themselves against Spain. In 1900, European allies retake Tennant's China from the rebels Boxers. In 1933, we have the Nazi Germany promulgates the law for the protection of hereditary health, the beginning of the euthanasia program. 1945, American battleship and cruiser bombed the Japanese home island for the first time. In 1964, the United States sent more than 600 troops to Vietnam. Thank you to the 2 live viewers we have right now. I really appreciate you guys sticking it through with me. Because we started late, we will be ending late, but this was an extremely long show. So I thank you guys for tuning in. So born on July 12th. 14th, it's late. In 1858, Amen Park founder of the Women's Society and Political Union. 1860, Owen Wister, novelist. 1903, Irving Stone, biographer, novelist. 1904, Isaac Singer, Polish-born American writer. 1912, Woodrow Wilson, Woody Guthrie, American folk singer. 1913, Gerald Ford, 38th President of the United States from 1974 to 1977. 1916, Natalia Zimberg, Italian novelist, The Dry Heat, Family Savings. 1918, Eimar Bengzer, Swedish film director, The Seventh Seal, Fanny and Alexander. And 1918, Arthur Lantris, writer and librist. So that was actually, this is a courtesy of HistoryNet.com, and I really do enjoy doing this show, and we will be changing, unfortunately, because of my busy schedule, we'll be changing only to Monday and Thursday. There will be no Sunday show anymore. I regret to inform all of you that there will be no Sunday show anymore, but other than that, we will have Monday and Thursday. We'll have many people on for interviews and things like that. So we're going to be going over briefly the 10 things to know for your Tuesday. So here are the 10 things to know for your Tuesday. Israel downs drone from Gaza Strip. It's the first time the Israelis have encountered an unarmed aircraft since the start of their offensive against Hamas militants last week. And number 2, Citigroup to pay $7 billion in subprime mortgage probes. Number 3, Afghan candidate says vote deal will work. Afram Gandhi Abzoom tells the AP John Dazvaki that a U.S. brokered PAC lays the foundation for a national unity government. Number 4, who has returned to regular Army duty? Sergeant Brown Bergau, but it was unclear when an investigation will ask about his disappearance that led to his being held captive by the Taliban for 5 years. Number 5, great day for the church and for equality. That's what Britain's Prime Minister is calling the Church of England's vote in favor of allowing women to become bishops. And then we move on to number 6, mixed reviews for healthier school lunch fare. School cafeteria managers is simplifying bean burgers, or sampling bean burgers, peanut butter substitutes, and other alternatives at a convention in Boston. Number 7, why Bin Laden AIDS convictions were set aside. An appeals court says the government offered little backup for the nation. That was notation that a military commission was the appropriate place to try Ali Amazar Aboun for material support for his terrorist and solicitation. Number 8, Pakistani teen implores Boko Haram on abduction. Number 9, once ready to be towed, the deadly shipwreck Costa Concordia is successfully reafloated in the preparation for its to be hauled. And we actually just got a message from Stephen Petrol that was on, and he said, I want to be a regular on the show. So that is actually really awesome. I would love to have him as a regular on the show. So it'd be every Monday and Thursday with Stephen Petrol and James Brino. That would be pretty awesome. So we will be looking into that. But I hope you guys really like Stephen because he may be coming back again. Starters for the Midsummer Classic set. Seattle's Felix Henderis will be taking them out for the American League and South Louis Ams right for the Open Major League playoffs. So here are just some other things. Egypt proposes ceasefire between Israeli Hamas. Citigroup to pay $7 billion in some prime mortgage proposal. Facilitating deadline U.S. Israel. Or Iran, excuse me. Just like we stated before. Just like we stated before that there was going to be until July 20th to actually get an agreement. Other than that, we can go to just weather right now. The 7-day forecast for central and southern Connecticut, courtesy of Eyewitness News 3, WFSB.com. The 7-day forecast looks very, very muggy out tonight. So I just want to thank all of you guys for tuning in. And we'll be going to the 7-day forecast in momentarily. So the 7-day forecast for central and southern Connecticut: Tuesday, partly cloudy, chance of storms and showers, high 82. Wednesday, partly cloudy with chance of thunderstorms and rain, 80, high of 80. Thursday, breezy with a high of 82. Friday, partly sunny, 84. Saturday, 85, high of 85. Sun with a chance of showers and thunderstorms at night. Saturday, chance of thunderstorms during the evening. high 85. Monday, partly sunny with a high of 87. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Other than that, we have nothing to talk about on the show tonight. I'd like you guys to tune in Thursday at 10 p.m. And we will have I'm pretty sure a couple new people talking to us about all the different things, including all the news stories, and I believe that we have two very, very special people coming on Thursday, Jack Storm and Nick Rappy. They will be talking about their religion, So it would behoove you to tune in on Thursday, because that's going to be a very, very heated debate. So that's Jack Storm and Nick Rappy on religion. It's going to be taking up the entire show. So I would tune in Thursday, 10 p.m. right here, the conference room with James Brino. Again, my name is James Brino. Thank you very much for coming and listening. Again, thank you very much. Have a safe and healthy rest of the week. I will see you on Thursday. Goodbye. See you later.